Hey everyone, this is Lisa. It's good to be with you today. The card I want to share with you today, when I started, I knew two things that I wanted in the card, and that was it. I knew that I wanted it to have an opening on the bottom corner, and that I wanted the top layer to have that same arch in it. But I didn't know what colors I wanted or even what image I wanted to put there. The other thing that I knew is that I wanted to use my daffodil, oh my goodness, why do I always forget the sizes on these ribbons? This is the, I'm going to have a hard time finding it. Oh, okay, that's what I thought. The 5/8 grosgrain daffodil ribbon. I knew that. So those were the two things that I knew starting off. So what I did is I went to my color coach. I love this thing, as I've said before if you've watched any of my other videos. I went to Daffodil Delight because that was the color of my ribbon, and turned it over. Looked at the two choices that they gave me of color combinations, and decided to go with the Getting Started combination, which has the Daffodil Delight, the Night of Navy, and the Old Olive. So I went from there. Then I had to decide, well, what image? Well, I decided to go with our wonderful bird punch. And then, through the course of trying to figure out what I was going to do, I decided that since I had a solid, this is the Night of Navy cardstock, that it needed something. I mean, I had decided on the sentiment already. And the sentiment is thinking of you from the Teeny Tiny Wishes stamp set. And I stamped that on the Whisper White cardstock, and then placed that on the Old Olive scalloped oval. So anyway, I had this solid sheet of paper with no texture, no design or whatever. So I decided to pull out one of my textured impression folders, and this is the Petals of Plenty folder, and ran that through our Big Shot. Now for the curve here, what I did was on the cardstock, and you can use either one as your pattern. You just need one. I took the roll of ribbon, and if you look on here, you will see that there are lines, dotted lines. There's 4 of them. So I used that as my guide, lined up the edges of the card with those lines, drew a light pencil mark around my cardstock, and then took our paper snips and cut that out. And then I lined up my colored cardstock with that, turned it over. I want to be careful that it's lined up on both edges evenly. Drew a light pencil mark around that, and then cut that out. So after I did that, I punched out our bird in the Night of Navy cardstock and the Old Olive cardstock, and I've gone ahead already and put the little vine inside, so you wouldn't have to watch me fiddle with that. Now I'm going to lay our textured piece of cardstock on top of that using my Snell adhesive. And you want to get a lot on, especially when you have texturized your cardstock by embossing it. But you want to make sure that it stays down, that it doesn't start coming up on you. So I'm going to get a whole lot of the Snell adhesive on here, more than I normally use on cards. And I'm going to, oops, I want it even, oh shoot, all the way around. That'll be hidden. So very carefully, I want it even on top and the bottom, as even as possible. and from side to side. I don't want to press anything down until I'm sure I have it pretty much the way I want it. So I'm going to rub this way. Ooh. Looked like I moved it a bit. Now it's not so straight. Down that way. There we are. And I messed up. I meant to put the ribbon on before I did that. I always do that. So I think I want about that much ribbon. And we're going to tuck it underneath. I mean, I could go all the way around, but I'd rather the cheater method so that I save on my ribbon. And I probably will have to glue this down again after I do this, but I'm going to carefully lift this up and tuck it under there. Lay that down. Of course, if you make this card, you want to get your ribbon on there before you lay this layer down, because it just makes it a little more difficult, but we'll work with it. Cut a little bit more of that off. I don't really need that much under there. Making sure it's straight before I tuck it under there. After we get that down, we want to rub really well to make sure the adhesive is going to keep the two pieces of cardstock together. And if you're not sure, just add a little more adhesive under there, either with your snail adhesive or the Tombow multi-glue or whatever adhesive that you use. Okay, so now I'm going to put my bird on. I already added its little wing and put a little dot for the eye using the Signo gel pen. I'm going to put him right there, and I'm going to glue him directly onto the card. For that, I will use, I'm going to use my two-way glue stick. And if you haven't used these before, what makes them two-way is that when they are blue in color, it's a permanent glue when you put your item down. But if you let it dry till it's clear, it becomes like a repositional adhesive. So your image, whatever it is you're gluing down will not be permanent. I want this little guy to be permanent, so I need to get him down while the glue is still wet. Just like that. I'm going to press everywhere. And then the last thing I'm going to do, I mean, of course there are, there's lots of other things I could do. I could rub some shimmer paint on there or add some dots or whatever. But I'm just going to keep this simple. So I've already gotten my sentiment together, as you can see. I've already put the Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. I'm going to add that directly to the ribbon. Now, one other thing I think I will do, so I can make sure my ribbon stays flat. I mean, I could let that sentiment float like that on the ribbon, but I think for support and just to keep the ribbon down flat, like I said, I'm going to add a little one of our glue dots. It's the mini glue dot. Just a little. That's going to be hidden. And then add my sentiment to the center of this card. And press. And there you are, a quick and simple little card. I hope you enjoyed this project as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I hope you're having a great week. See you next time.